Potwin, Kansas. Potwin is a city in Butler County, Kansas, United States. It is named after the town site landowner Charles Potwin. As of the 2010 census, the city population was 449. For many millennia, the Great Plains of North America was inhabited by nomadic Native Americans. From the 16th century to 18th century, the Kingdom of France claimed ownership of large parts of North America. In 1762, after the French and Indian War, France secretly ceded New France to Spain, per the Treaty of Fontainebleau. In 1802, Spain returned most of the land to France. In 1803, most of the land for modern-day Kansas was acquired by the United States from France as part of the 828,000 square mile Louisiana Purchase for 2.83 cents per acre. In 1854, the Kansas Territory was organized. Then in 1861 Kansas became the 34th U.S. state. In 1855, Butler County was established within the Kansas Territory, which included the land for modern-day Potwin. Potwin was incorporated as a town on April 8, 1885. This land, owned by Charles Potwin, whereby the town received its name, became a station for the Missouri Pacific Railroad, instigated by William I Joseph, known as the father of Potwin. Mr. Joseph came from West Virginia, and as more settlers arrived he became interested in a railroad to serve the area. After much diligent pursuit, the station was built and Mr. Joseph, a land agent for Charles Potwin, began development of a town site around the Potwin station. He opened a land office where the Potwin grocery now stands. A post office was established in Air on July 12, 1875, but it was moved to Potwin on September 22, 1885. It quickly grew, including some businesses and houses from nearby community of Plum Grove. During half of the 20th century, Potwin enjoyed the prosperity of oil fields in the Mid-Continent Oil Province. In 1920, John Vickers built the Vickers Oil Refinery in Potwin. He got his start in oil fields in Butler County, commencing with the lease on the Paris Farm 10 miles north of Potwin. Production reached 16,000 barrels a day during the 1950s. In 1964, distressed economic conditions shut down the oil processing facilities. The company was sold to Swift & Company and the remaining operations were closed in 1970, and later demolished. In 1934, Vickers built a large mansion east of Wichita, which his estate later became the current site of Capon M.T. Carmel High School. In 1961, Frederick Remington High School was built immediately north of Brainerd. Leading up to this new school, Whitewater, Potwin, Brainerd, Elbing, Foley, Countryside, and Golden Gate schools merged to form a joint rural high school. Heated opposition between Whitewater and Potwin occurred during the discussion for the location of the new high school. Rural voters pushed for a centralized location in neither town. A public vote was passed to build the new school near Brainerd. From 1960s to 1980s, a Titan II intercontinental ballistic missile site was located north of Potwin. The site was one of 18 overseen by the 381st Strategic Missile Wing at McConnell Air Force Base in Wichita, Kansas. The Titan II near Potwin likely contained a 9-megaton W-53 nuclear warhead. In 2010, the Keystone-Cushing pipeline was constructed along the east city limits of Potwin, north to south through Butler County, with much controversy over tax exemption and environmental concerns. A pumping station named Burns was built 2 miles north of Potwin, and new power lines were built from a high-voltage line 0.3 mile east of DeGraff. In an unusual technical glitch, a farmstead about 4 miles northeast of Potwin became the default site of 600 million IP addresses when the Massachusetts-based digital mapping company MaxMind changed the putative geographic center of the contiguous United States from 39.8333398.5855522 to 38.0000097.0000. Potwin is located at 37°5620 and 97°0109 W/37.938898° and 97.019034° W/37.938898, minus 97.019034. According to the United States Census Bureau, the city has a total area of 0.24 square miles, all of it land. The climate in this area is characterized by hot, humid summers and generally mild to cool winters. According to the Köppen climate classification system, Potwin has a humid subtropical climate, abbreviated CFA on climate maps. As of the census of 2010, there were 449 people, 181 households, and 130 families residing in the city. The population density was 1,870.8 inhabitants per square mile. There were 205 housing units at an average density of 854.2 per square mile. The racial makeup of the city was 92.2% white, 0.2% African American, 1.3% Native American, 0.7% Asian, 2.2% from other races, and 3.3% from two or more races. Hispanic or Latino of any race were 5.6% of the population. There were 181 households, of which 30.4% had children under the age of 18 living with them, 55.8% were married couples living together, 9.9% had a female householder with no husband present, 6.1% had a male householder with no wife present, and 28.2% were non-families. 24.9% of all households were made up of individuals and 11.1% had someone living alone who was 65 years of age or older. The average household size was 2.48 and the average family size was 2.94. The median age in the city was 39.4 years. 25.2% of residents were under the age of 18, 8.2% were between the ages of 18 and 24, 24.1% were from 25 to 44, 28.5% were from 45 to 64, and 14% were 65 years of age or older. The gender makeup of the city was 49.9% male and 50.1% female. As of the census of 2000, there were 457 people, 187 households, and 123 families residing in the city. The population density was 2,001.1 people per square mile. There were 208 housing units at an average density of 910.8 per square mile. The racial makeup of the city was 95.40% white, 1.53% Native American, 0.22% Asian, and 2.84% from two or more races. Hispanic or Latino of any race were 0.88% of the population. There were 187 households, out of which 33.2% had children under the age of 18 living with them, 53.5% were married couples living together, 8.0% had a female householder with no husband present, and 34.2% were non-families. 28.3% of all households were made up of individuals and 17.1% had someone living alone who was 65 years of age or older. The average household size was 2.44 and the average family size was 2.95. In the city, the population was spread out with 26.0% under the age of 18, 9.0% from 18 to 24, 28.0% from 25 to 44, 21.9% from 45 to 64, and 15.1% who were 65 years of age or older. The median age was 37 years. For every 100 females, there were 100.4 males. For every 100 females age 18 and over, there were 94.3 males. The median income for a household in the city was $39,091, and the median income for a family was $42,500. Males had a median income of $31,544 versus $18,375 for females. The per capita income for the city was $18,254. About 4.7% of families and 8.3% of the population were below the poverty line, including 6.8% of those under age 18 and 8.6% of those age 65 or over. Potwin is part of the Remington $206 public school district. The Remington High School mascot is a Bronco. Potwin High School was closed through school unification. The Potwin High School mascot was Greyhounds. Potwin is served by numerous radio stations of the Wichita-Hutchinson listening market area, and satellite radio. See Media in Wichita, Kansas. Potwin is served by over-the-air ATSC digital TV of the Wichita-Hutchinson viewing market area, cable TV, and satellite TV. See Media in Wichita, Kansas. K-196 highway runs along the south side of the city,